The concept mapping, I thought, was an excellent process in bringing a large number of people together and actually making sure that the recommendations generated from the study is truly grounded in their own realities. There were the ones writing statements about what they would like to see change. So we presented our study findings to them during the concept mapping. And then next we asked them, okay, you've heard what we found, what can we do about it? And we gave them some time, activities, to actually make statements about what they think needs to be done. Now we took this statement, used the group-wise program, computer software, to really organize the statements, brought it back to them for sorting to help us prioritize those statements. And then we use those to generate maps. And those maps actually shows us areas of priority, areas that needs to be focused on more. And so you can see that when we say we brought over 60 Black men together across the province through, of course, in our virtual world today, we worked using Zoom platforms, and they truly came up with these statements that we're calling best practice guidelines for dealing with men's HIV vulnerability.
It was a rare moment for them where they got to express themselves as a young Black heterosexual male, you know, without having to either filter themselves or try to fit in or whatever, just really just expressing their truth. The biggest thing that people need are those social interactions, those social connections. And so by a project like this one, which develops those types of connections and allows them to express themselves in those type of environments, is directly tackling the issue of vulnerability.
What came to mind is actually an initiative that I heard about, which was, and it's an example, where it would be engaging conversation in barbershops, meaning these conversations that are only amongst men in a particular area. In my personal and professional life, what I notice is that sometimes men will have very, what I can call safe conversations. Things that are generally accepted, and they won't necessarily talk about subjects that are taboo. So an initiative that could be done, an example, is providing training to barbers so that they can initiate these conversations within these groups of men to break the taboo, to break the silence, to break the stigma when it comes to mental health and other issues that affect us directly.
What does everyone bring on the table? Consistent discussion between the academic world and the faith world, and helping the faith leaders understand that whatever it is we are doing, the end goal is to have the SB community healthy, stronger, better, and just kind of linking up the resources we have together becomes very, very helpful.
If we want to bring about systemic change, then you need to address all the systemic issues where structural issues, whether it be policies, come into play. You need to have very grassroots initiatives, but you also need to have high-level policy initiatives as well to affect change. Because even from a community level, it's limited what we can do. But somebody within government has the power to provide funds, to change the structures, to provide training that better helps. So again, I think it's really about from the top to the bottom and from the bottom to the top.
This for me is a huge, huge win to have engaged so many members of the community. And also the kudos goes to the researchers on the ground in the community, the mobilization of the community that, you know, really rallied and continued and were persistent in getting the information back and recruiting the participants and explaining the importance of the surveys and the focus groups in this study. I think one of the successes and something to be really proud of for this study is the collaborations that have been strengthened locally with our partners. I mean, in Ottawa, we have partners. We have now new partnerships and collaborations. So that is also something, that continues to build.
Right from day one, from the design of the project, we had mechanisms in place to ensure the uptake of this project, both at the policy level. And one way that we did that was through those advisory groups that we have. What this kind of approach, the community-based research approach we use does is it not only collects data, it educates people. Critical consciousness raising creates that kind of motivation and the impetus for them to want to create change in the circumstances. And so we're feeling like we've reached out to over 2,000 men across the province, that we have raised that critical consciousness about the problems affecting them both at the systemic and individual level, and we're hoping that some of them will take the tools that we're developing or that we've developed. We have pamphlets, we have fact sheets out to them, that they can take those as advocacy tools. So when they go out to, whether it's in their own writing or even the politicians who are running for local offices, that they can take those tools with them, that we've given them data to use for their advocacy work. But we would continue to develop other tools and bringing the men together. Again, if we can have a follow-up group where men can have support for each other, it's again another platform where they can discuss ideas and support one another to use it. We as researchers will continue to share our findings to policy audience. We've already joined with Ottawa Public Health to launch their first Black History Month event, where we presented some of the We Speak findings. We hope to continue to do that with our local partners, whether it's Somerset West Community Health Center, AIDS Committee of Ottawa. They are all key partners we've worked very closely with. And we hope to provide them this data as tools for them to advocate for policies. And we would continue to present it at policy platform, at conferences where other policy people would be present.